What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe. As you tune into the channel, check out the content. Now, I think that Nick Wright, either Nick Wright is delusional, or or he's just willing to go down with this ship. The LeBron James sinking ship, right? Because look, Nick Wright says that he thinks that LeBron James can challenge for or compete for another title. And here you have LeBron James just coming. They just got ran out of the playoffs this past season in 5 games, and LeBron James is coming back a year older. So I don't understand how Nick Wright can think that like LeBron James will be able to compete for a championship in LA or anywhere. Like even if he didn't stay in Los Angeles, which I'm sure he probably will stay in Los Angeles, I just don't see him being able to compete for a championship. Number one, the West is getting better. You got Kevin Durant just went to Houston. I think that's an upgrade from the guy Jalen Green. Although I like Jalen Green, I just think that that's an upgrade. Jalen Green is young, but he's not Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, he can definitely give you some baskets down the clutch. Jalen Green really didn't show up, in the playoffs. He had a horrible season. But so you got Houston who got better, in my opinion. Um, then the Joker, I think the Denver Nuggets, I think they'll be back. They'll be tough. OKC is tough. Um, Kawhi Leonard and Hardaway. James Harden, not going anywhere. Let me think. Then you got, I think the Mavericks. I think they're going to be tougher next year. So then you have Golden State, right? Golden State. They're going to have another opportunity with Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry to go at it. So I don't know how Nick Wright thinks that LeBron James is going to be is going to be able to compete in that West or anywhere else in the league. And Nick Wright is the same person who said that look for LeBron James to find his way back in Cleveland, which I'm glad that didn't happen because I like what Cleveland got going on over there with Darius Garland and what's the other guy name? And Donovan Mitchell, right? I like their chemistry together. Plus, they had some young horses surrounding them, some athletes and stuff like that. So, then on top of that, management and ownership over there in Cleveland, I don't think they really want LeBron James back. I don't I don't see where the reward for them. It's more risk than reward, like allowing LeBron James to come back to Cleveland, in my opinion. They got chemistry over there in Cleveland. They have something that they can build on in Cleveland. So I don't see the people who own Cleveland or the people who manage Cleveland want to deal with LeBron James. I don't think LeBron James just don't bring enough to the table. At 42 years old, or 41 or 42 years old. I just don't see it. And so for Nick Wright, when he even said that, I just knew that, Nick Wright was just blowing air. Now, the thing is though, with Nick Wright backing LeBron James, I guess he really don't have anything to lose, and he get a lot of attention for the things that he say. But none of what he said is in my opinion, I think he's hurting his credibility because I mean he's just going too far out on a limb with this LeBron James can compete for another and challenge for a championship anywhere. I just think he just going, you know, uh his credibility I think is going to take a hit, and then what gets me is people really don't call out Nick Wright for this kind of stuff. They really don't call him out. But one thing I do think is that people who know basketball are not even really getting their like they're not really getting their opinions from people like Nick Wright, people who they think have ulterior motives in saying some of the things that they say about LeBron James. If you can't be fair or be honest about it, then I just think that people are going to turn you off. I think that's what's going to happen to Nick Wright. I think people just going to turn him off. He's making all these outrageous claims and stuff. Um, you're gonna turn him off. Like in a barbershop or at work or somewhere. Like I wouldn't even talk to Nick Wright about the things that he's saying. Like it just seemed like he's trying to troll. He's not serious. Like why would Cleveland, in my opinion, like why would Cleveland want LeBron James back? It just to me it just don't make no sense. It don't add up. And then on top of that, when he make these type of statements, it's not even like he's making statements because he has some type of inside information. He may be connected to a team or have a source somewhere that's putting this out. You know what I mean? He's just coming up with stuff just to get draw attention from people, and it's just becoming so obvious as to what he's doing that he's losing credibility. Now don't get me wrong, like the Lakers did get DeAndre Ayton, right? But in my opinion, I just don't think DeAndre Ayton is enough. He moves the needle enough for the Lakers to be able to challenge in the championship, especially in the West. DeAndre Ayton did make it to the championship one time when he was with Phoenix. And he bumped heads with Monty Williams, the coach. He couldn't really get along with what's the other guy named Chris Paul, and the reason why he didn't get along with those guys is because Monty Williams and Chris Paul really didn't feel like DeAndre Ayton was putting forth the effort that he needed to in order for them to win. He was kind of inconsistent. And with DeAndre Ayton being inconsistent, that's really, part of what hurt them, when they lost the championship to the Milwaukee Bucks. You know, they had the perfect opportunity to beat the Milwaukee Bucks and DeAndre Ayton. And I don't think DeAndre Ayton really got any better since then. I used to think that sometimes that Chris Paul was being too hard on DeAndre Ayton at the time, where I was like, well, maybe he need to lay off of him a little bit, and see what happens, see if that can motivate him or inspire him to be a better ball player. But it didn't, and obviously it didn't because when he left there, he didn't get any better. Where did he go? I forgot where he just came from. He didn't get any better there. So, people says that the Lakers getting DeAndre Ayton was just is it a up? It's a slight upgrade for the Lakers as far as the center position, but DeAndre Ayton, I don't know. I just don't think that the Lakers, with even with Luca. Now Luca is from everybody say that Luca's trimmed down, Luca look good, and he's in shape, right? And Luca did lead he led his team, the Mavericks to a finals, but that'll be like asking Luca to carry LeBron and DeAndre Ayton. And I don't think that Luca's going, even if Luca is in shape, I don't think Luca's going to be up for it. It's just asking too much. In the West, I think you need three. You need like a three-headed monster to get out that West, because it's just those teams are just so deep and so talented. And all the weight basically will be falling on Luca. LeBron James will be limited in what he can do. And who's to say that LeBron James, by the time you get to the playoffs, like how much gas will LeBron James have in the tank? So yeah, I just don't see, I think LeBron James being able to challenge for a championship, those days are long gone. I think when he won that last championship in Cleveland, that was it. It was, that was it. And I don't even really count that Mickey Mouse championship he got in LA. I don't count that. Yeah, but that's my take on Nick Wright. I just think that Nick Wright is delusional. Um, and it just looked like Nick Wright don't care, man. He's just willing to go down with this ship. And I think that's what's gonna happen. So with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.